Welcome to Onslow County Today. I'm your host, Lisa Whitman-Grice. And coming up on this edition of Onslow County Today, we're going to be talking with Tammy Custy from Onslow County Department of Social Services. We'll also visit with Sally Goodman from Coastal Carolina Community College and Virginia March from the Onslow County Public Library, talking about one book, one community. We'll visit with Emily Morrison to find out what's growing in the garden this fall. And finally, we'll meet Bear and of course Jennifer Montefort from the Onslow County Animal Services Department. Thank you as always for joining us for Onslow County Today. Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Tammy Custy with Onslow County Department of Social Services. Tammy, thanks for being here today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So we want to talk about DSS's very special program called the Low Income Emergency Assistance Program. You have one in the spring that has a little bit of a different acronym there, and then you have one in the winter. So first we want to talk about the one that you've been operating this spring and summer, which is called the CIP. Explain what that is.
Correct. That's the Crisis Intervention Program. It's a program that helps with the cooling expenses for our citizens in Onslow County. They have to meet income requirements, and the energy bill has to actually be in their name.
Okay.
But the payments are made directly to the vendor, whether it be Jones Onslow or Duke Energy.
Okay, and you know, as we're sitting out here and it's in October and it's still really warm, we know how high those utility bills can be to keep our families comfortable and really safe. Lots of folks have health crises that they need to be cool, and so you all assist them with making sure that their homes are comfortable.
That is correct, yes.
Now you have a counterpart to that as we will enter into the late fall and winter season. Tell us about the Low Income Energy Assistance Program.
The Low Income Energy Assistance Program provides a one-time vendor payment to citizens who meet the qualifications for the program. The qualifications are pretty simple. You have to meet the income guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
The energy bill has to be in a household member's name.
Okay.
And we also have to be a United States citizen or an eligible alien.
Okay, so first and foremost, the whole idea of this program is to assist folks in paying that utility bill. Again, heating cost for our homes can really be, in January and February when we are at our coldest, can be really high for those families. And when you have other economic challenges and you're trying to take care of your family, the idea of not being able to keep your family warm can be so frightening. And so you all assist them with that. You mentioned the vendor. Is it to the utility company?
Correct.
What if does it assist with gas payments if you don't have electric, so gas or oil cost?
Or even wood.
Okay,
Or
even wood.
We can assist with the cost of wood.
So in whatever manner you heat your home, you all assist with that.
That is correct.
And so when do folks who feel that they will need that assistance, when do they need to begin applying?
Individuals age 60 and over can apply in December,
Okay.
on December the 1st through December the 31st, and disabled individuals.
Okay.
It opens up to everybody in January.
All right. Is there a finite amount of funding that's available for the program?
Individuals will either receive a $200, $300, or $400 payment based on the number of individuals in their home and their need.
Do they, so to give some idea, do they have to have previous utility bills to kind of say, you know, this is what I spent last year, or this is what I couldn't spend last year, but what was needed? Do they have to have any kind of background material like that?
We don't have to have that. Actually, based on the number of individuals in the family and the light bill itself or the heating source bill itself, that's what determines whether they get the $200, $300, or $400.
So the size of the household, number of folks living there,
Right.
And then your team assesses it and bases that on what their allocation can be. And again, it's not paid to the individual, but to the individual utility company or vendor.
Correct.
All right, so we have time frame. What about criteria in terms of economic household income?
We have to have proof of their income. So when they come in to apply, we would need for them to bring proof of their income, of course, for the previous month.
Okay.
Their light bill or heating source,
Whether
it's wood, gas, whatever, something showing how much they normally pay.
Okay.
And we can assist them from there.
All right, so again, we want to make sure our viewers completely understand the process. Deadline for folks 60 and older, or 65?
60 and older, 65 and older.
65 and
I think
older.
I did say 60
Okay.
earlier.
Okay, 65 and older, beginning December 1st, running through December 31st. Then others can apply after the first of the year. Then we need to make sure that we know what kind of heating source we have, whether that be wood, oil, gas, or electric. They come in, they apply, you review household income, you review size of the household, and then you can make that assessment and begin assisting them immediately. You all have not, this is not a new program, this is a program we've talked about before. I'd love for you to share with our viewers how many folks we were able to assist and really keep warm in 2018.
There was approximately 3,200 people that we assisted last year under the Low-Income Energy Assistance Program.
3,200 folks.
3,200.
You know, when we think about that, it's not just keeping folks cool or warm. It's keeping folks safe. It's keeping folks protected in their own homes. Have you received feedback from any of those families? Do you hear how that has helped them? I mean, I can't even imagine thinking that my kids would be cold and then knowing that they're not.
Sometimes we do.
Yeah.
We actually get thank you cards, but occasionally.
But I think that, you know, the thanks is seeing that those families, you know, whether they be our seniors or our kiddos and everyone in between who needs help, that you're there to keep them warm and comfortable through the winter.
That's correct.
Tammy, please give us the some ways in which we can contact you if our viewers have more information, or they have a neighbor that they think, you know, I really think they could use this help.
Okay.
What's the best telephone number?
The best telephone number would be the main office at Social Services, and that would be 910-455-4145. And just ask for someone in the Energy Assistance Program, and we will be glad to speak with them.
Now, we also need to let folks know who may, maybe they've moved away or they're not familiar. You all have moved in the last couple of years who might not, when we think of DSS, not everyone immediately thinks of the building over on College Street. Now, tell us where the CHS building is and how we can find you.
We have a beautiful new building located at 615 College Street. It's where the old health department used to be.
Okay.
So it's on the same location as the old health department. We just have a brand new building.
Well, it's a wonderful building. Again, you know, we talk about making folks comfortable. It's the most welcoming building. At a time when folks might need to come and ask for help, you all have opened your doors in such a beautiful way and make them feel right at home. So thank you for that. Your team at the front desk are always super willing to help anybody who walks in. So make sure we know that folks need to go to College Street, not to New River any longer.
Right.
That they can call you and find out more about the Low Income Energy Assistance Program.
That's right.
Well, Tammy Custy, thank you, and thank you for what you do to take care and help our citizens here in Onslow County.
Thank you as well.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now are two of my favorite people, librarians, the most powerful people in the world, because you bring the world to us. And you're going to be doing that with a very special program this winter. But before we get into that, we want to make sure that everybody knows, you know, who you are behind your superpowers and capes. And joining us first is Virginia Sharp-March, our director at Onslow County Public Libraries, and Sally Goodman from Coastal Carolina Community College Library Services. Thank you all for being here with us.
Well, thank you for having us.
So we're talking about bringing the world to Onslow County. And, you know, we talk about this a lot, that Onslow County really is a microcosm of the world. Our community is made up of people from every corner of the globe. And so you all have really captured that with this very special program. And we want to talk about one book, one community. Virginia, share with us a little bit about what it is. And then Sally, we're going to talk to you about how it came to our front door here, if you will.
Great.
So One Book, One Community is an initiative that was started well over 20 years ago within the public library communities, and it actually started with Seattle Public Library. And so their goal was to get the community talking around one book. And it could be a fiction, it could be a nonfiction, but it was to bring community members together to talk, to converse, just to expand their horizons, and whatever the topic is, learn a little bit more about the topic and also about one another.
And about one another. I think that that's key. Sally, you've been doing this on a little bit of a different scale. Talk about what you've been doing at Coastal, and then how you brought this idea to Virginia and her team at the library.
We had a program last year called One Book, One Campus, and selected a book and planned a year-long program with events and activities around a book called Picking Cotton, and it was very successful. So this year we came together and said, let's expand this. Let's bring it from One Book, One Campus to One Book, One Community. And we got together. We have a committee of 26 people on the committee, purposely to represent all different contingencies, especially the different disciplines and between continuing ed and the curriculum at college, at the college, and then of course the Onslow County Public Library representation. So we met 3 to 4 times over the summer and had the major task of selecting our book this year.
So you had to come to consensus
Yes.
with a team of 26. And the book that spoke to you all was Call Me American. Virginia, tell us about the story.
Call Me American by Abdi Nur Iftin is the story of a young Somalian man's journey as he was living in Somalia, growing up in their civil wars, and having a lot to having nothing, losing family members, having to journey throughout the country, to his eventual journey to the United States. But what he was always, it's Call Me American, is because he learned the English language through movies, and also when the U.S. Marines were over there. And so he would tell everyone, call me American, and one day he was coming. And this is his story on how he came to America.
So he was really putting it out there and calling it into being.
Yes.
Call me American,
Yes.
call me American,
Yes.
because someday I will be.
And
Now-
he's here.
And he's here. So Sally, you were telling me off camera where he has finally eventually landed.
Yes.
Is Maine?
Yes, he was welcomed to the state of Maine once he went through his extraordinary journey getting here, and has been living in the state of Maine working as an interpreter, and he's attending college and is traveling now all over on this book tour telling his story. And so yes, he's still living in Maine.
Living in Maine. So not just different countries, but different worlds.
Exactly.
I mean, from
And he
from
had the
Somalia.
culture shock of learning and experiencing coming here as well.
That is,
So,
and this story, the really the intensity of thinking about it in such a climate as Somalia through the civil wars and everything that they faced, and then his journey here and what that involved, he's captured in this book.
absolutely.
So you all want to share this book with the community, and you're not just saying, come to the libraries, get this
Right.
book, read it, download it. You want to engage the community in a conversation.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about.
So tell us how you're going to do that. How are you launching this, and then where are we going to go from there?
Well, first of all, we're wanting to get word out about the book.
Okay.
And through not only the college, through the public library, through our schools, and then we've planned various events between now and April that center around the book. And the first big event is going to be held at the college on October 30th, where we're going to have a panel. The panel is Every Journey, a Story, the Refugee Experience. So we'll be having panelists who are representing various refugee services in the area, including the Interfaith Refugee Ministry in New Bern. We have two very well educated and spoken people from UNC Chapel Hill that have had experiences working with refugees. So we're excited about the panel, which will be October 30th, held at Coastal in Bodenhammer Auditorium at 2:15 to 3:15. So it'll give people an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the actual refugee experience and a lot of the language that goes along with learning about what does it mean to be a refugee.
And, you know, Virginia, you mentioned off camera as we were getting ready to talk about this. I love that Sally said the language of being a refugee, because it's like the Tower of Babel. We all come together, we speak these different languages, and we're coming together over this book, and you all are doing that literally in a conversation circle.
So the conversation circles, which will be held in January, February, and March, twice a day on the Mondays, 10:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. It's going to be an opportunity for people where English is not their first language to come and practice English. So we'll have English-speaking people, and you can come if English is your first language, but we want to bring the community together to help just practice that language. There'll be topics each time so that we have a focus, but it'll also not just be learning the language, but we'll also be learning about each other and their cultures. And in the end of March, then the goal is to bring together everybody and have a food fest. Let's bring the foods from all of our cultures together and enjoy that social aspect of what we've done throughout the conversation circles.
You know, isn't that always the thing that ties us together, is when we break bread together, that time, and the seasoning that
Yes,
goes into
that's
it.
a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it.
Brings that to us all. So we're having a panel conversation, we're having conversation circles, and then you all have some other things in mind.
Yes, we
as
do.
well. You have
Yes,
some
we
pretty.
do.
Again, this topic is one that people are polarized over. So
Yes,
you're
this
bringing
is very relevant timing.
So you're bringing everybody to the table. Talk about who else is coming to share.
Well, we're also going to be at the campus. We're holding programs like a One Book, One Community essay contest, so students can participate. Our theme being every journey, every story. Students then can embrace their own stories, and that's going to be an ongoing program, as well as book discussions throughout the campus. Many of our faculty are incorporating the book into their curriculum. But our highlight is, and I'm going to let Virginia take over from here, but our big highlight is what's happening in April.
Right, April 22nd, we're so excited because Abdi is coming to Jacksonville, to Onslow County.
That is phenomenal.
It is.
It is going to be a very full day for him because he'll be starting at the college and attending a few classes, and also then in the afternoon at the college he'll have a talk followed by a book signing, and then the final event will be that evening at 7 o'clock at Northside High School. We will be having him, once again, he'll be speaking followed by a book signing. So many opportunities for the community to meet him throughout that day and to hear firsthand about his story, his journey, and hopefully be inspired to think about what their journey has been.
This is not only just a wonderful collaboration, but what a wonderful celebration.
Oh, definitely. We were so thrilled when he accepted our offer to come. And I just would also like to mention that prior to speaking at Coastal on April 22nd, Abdi, it will be joining students and those people that made this possible for lunch at our culinary program. And he's going to actually be able to sit with us, meet the students, the winners of the OVOC essay contest. So people are going to be in his presence throughout the day in a more personal connection. So I think this is going to really be probably one of the best days of the year.
Yeah. This is, and gives us something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
As you say, it's building.
Yes.
It's engaging with the book. It's engaging with one another. And through the power of librarians, you all have brought together our community through this book. If we want to know more about it, if we want to visit websites or check out social media, Sally, first let's start with Coastal and direct us how we can reach you, and then certainly Virginia, we're going to talk about how to reach Onslow County Public Library.
I'm really glad you asked that question. If you go to the Coastal Carolina Community College website and then select library from there, you will see a link directly to One Book, One Community. And it has everything on that webpage, from about the book, about the author, the listing of all these events that we've talked about, because there's more events than what we just mentioned, and more information about Abdi's visit. So I encourage you to go to Coastal Carolina Community College website at coastalcarolina.edu. And then hit the library button, and it'll take you from there.
I love that. Hit the library button.
There you go.
There.
Yep.
And Virginia, tell us about Onslow County Public Library and how we can find out more.
So if people, once again, like Sally mentioned, go to our website, onslowcountync.gov/library, then they can click on events and they can learn more about it. It will be highlighted in our newsletter, and hopefully they'll be following us on social media, because we will be promoting all these programs, these wonderful opportunities to learn about Abdi's story and also the opportunity to share their stories.
Well, thank you all. Thank you for bringing the One Book, One Community to our county, and thank you for Call Me American. We are just looking so forward to it, and thank you both for being with us.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Emily Morrison with Onslow County Cooperative Extension. Emily, thanks for joining us. I think this is your first visit with us.
It is.
We're going to talk about what's going on at Cooperative Extension this fall.
Okay.
But first we want to know just a little bit about you, since this is your first visit. How long have you been with Extension?
I've been with Extension a little over 3 years. I've been the horticulture agent since April.
Okay,
of this
so
year.
about 6 months on the job.
Yes.
And you hit the ground running.
Yes.
And your first big deal event is coming up just this coming weekend, first weekend in October.
Yes.
You have a symposium. Tell us about it.
Yes, so the Onslow County Master Gardener volunteers have put a lot of work into planning our Fall Garden Symposium. It's located behind the Farmers Market in the Discovery Gardens. And we have garden classes planned. Everything's free and open to the public. There's a plant sale, including some native plants. There will be some additional vendors, the Shelton Herb Farm, and Possumwood Acres Wildlife Shelter will be there as well.
So I have to say, I love Meg Shelton.
She's great, yes.
She's wonderful. You all have got the very best of the best coming to talk about herbs. That's outstanding.
Yes.
And then the idea of lectures, programs, the plant sale, get us all kind of, once you give us a little bit of knowledge, which is what you all do at Cooperative Extension, is then you engage us and say, okay, we've taught you how, now go do it.
Exactly.
Now, if we want to participate in the symposium, is there a fee associated with it?
There's not, so the public can come out. All of the classes are free. There'll be tours of the Discovery Gardens. It'll run from 8:30 to 1:30 on October 5th.
Okay.
So folks can come out anytime within that time frame.
And what a great introduction to extension and gardening is to immerse them in your Discovery Garden that has been just such a labor of love.
Absolutely.
Now, you say that this is sponsored by, in part, by your Master Gardeners. So we want to just jump right from there into how does one become a Master Gardener, and you're going to make that easy for us too.
I am going to do my best, absolutely. So our Master Gardener volunteer program is It begins with a 40-hour training program, which we're going to be offering starting January 14th of 2020. Okay. And the registration deadline will be December 13th. And
we'll go ahead and hold that up.
Yeah, so I've brought our really wonderful Master Gardener handbook that class participants will receive if they take the class, and it's almost like a college class. Mm-hmm. So we actually meet 3 hours every Tuesday and Thursday, so 6 hours a week.
All right.
From the 14th of January through March 19th. So it is a commitment that way, but they will learn so much about gardening, and then they'll be able to turn around and help the community with gardening questions.
So one, this is a beautiful volume, and I mean the resources that are available in it. And as you say, it's 6 contact hours a week for 2 months, so that is a significant amount of coursework. Obviously, being a Master Gardener and registering for that program, there has to be a fee involved, and what is that?
There is a fee. It's $125, and that'll include the book and all of the training. It's a really great program, and our Master Gardeners give back to our community. They staff the plant clinic, so anybody in Onslow County who has a plant problem can call or stop in and get help on their plant questions. And they also do outreach events. They teach children about gardening, seniors, so many different things.
Well, you know, I mentioned the fee of $125, but considering the amount, the volume of information that they receive, the time, the expertise that you all put in from your team at Cooperative Extension, and then the fact that they give back in so many different ways, from helping folks with their soil testing to, I don't know what this bug is, but please help me understand why this insect is eating all my tomatoes.
Right.
Or in my case, giant green caterpillars.
Yes.
So the return on being a Master Gardener is enormous for the community and for the Master Gardeners themselves.
Absolutely, yes. And the Fall Symposium will be a great time to meet some of our Master Gardener volunteers, ask questions. They can contact me about any questions they have with the program, and we'd be more than happy to introduce them and make them feel welcome.
So launch with the Fall Symposium, come around, walk around that beautiful Master Gardener's Discovery Garden. Farmers Market will be open as well, and the trail is so beautiful, and we're all got our fingers crossed it'll cool off some.
Yes. Absolutely.
So it'll be pretty out there next weekend. I think actually we've heard that it's going to cool down some through this week. So we love that. Symposium, Master Gardener's Workshop, and then suddenly it's Christmas.
Right.
Emily, tell us, certainly this is an artificial wreath. We're not quite there yet. But you all have already begun taking orders for the annual Cooperative Extension wreath sale.
We have.
Tell us a little bit about how we can order our wreaths and when they'll be coming in.
Okay, so order forms are available at the Extension office. You can also find them online on our website and on our Facebook page, information on how to order them. They are from Western North Carolina. They're beautiful, fresh cut Fraser fir wreaths that are handmade, and they're only $22. So, and I've heard that they can last through Easter if you take care of it. Okay.
Mine literally lasted through Easter. We just changed the bow. Because they last so long if you keep it out of direct sun. You spritz it with a little bit of water, fluff it up every once in a while, but it was extraordinary how long. I was shocked at how long it lasted. And they really are such a beautiful investment.
They are, and it's also a fundraiser, and so it benefits all of our county extension volunteer programs. So it benefits the Master Gardener volunteers, it benefits our 4-H, and it benefits our ECA ladies. So on top of being a good deal, it's a good cause, And the orders are due by November 15th, sorry.
Okay.
And the pickup will be the day before Thanksgiving.
All right, that Wednesday prior.
Yes.
A lot of folks already have begin decorating their home, and again, just change the bow, go from a Thanksgiving bow to a Christmas bow to an Easter bow.
Right.
Because it really did last, and it was beautiful. Emily, please remind folks, because when we think about cooperative extension, we're not always quite sure where to find you all. So let's tell folks where the building is.
Okay.
Then we certainly want to tell them about your website and your telephone number.
Okay, so we are located in the Onslow County complex, which is at 4024 Richlands Highway, directly adjacent to the farmers market, and we're in the same building as the senior center.
Okay.
So that might help folks. Our website is onslow.ces.ncsu.edu.
Okay.
And our phone number 910-455-5873.
Wonderful. You're right out on 24258. Just before you get, if you're coming from Richlands, just before Pony Farm Road,
Yes.
will be on the right, just beyond the light there where the county government center is.
Yes.
To give folks some orientation. Emily, thank you for coming out and sharing with us. We are really looking forward to what the fall looks like at the Discovery Gardens, and your good luck with your symposium. And of course, we want everybody to get out and buy a wreath.
Absolutely.
After the holidays, become a master gardener.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome back to Onslow County today, and joining us is Jennifer Montefort from Onslow County Animal Services. Jennifer, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And you have brought a very special friend. You have Bear with us this morning.
Yeah, this is our baby Bear, and he is coming available for adoption. A lot of people think we only have larger dogs or
Right.
older dogs at the shelter, but we have dogs and cats of all breeds, all sizes.
Well, Bear is just unfortunately right up my alley. This is kind of my dog here. This is what my puppy looks like. So we are thrilled that you are with us, Bear. Jennifer, it's fall, and we've had a incredibly busy summer at Animal Services. And you all still, as you say, have plenty of puppies, kittens, dogs, and cats to adopt. So talk about when you make that decision to bring that fur baby into the home, how important it is to be thinking about being a responsible pet owner.
So responsible pet ownership is key. It's one of the biggest parts of our education program, making sure that people are ready to bring a
Bless you.
bring a puppy or kitten into their home. So just make sure you're understanding what time you have for your new pet, that they'll require care, and costs. There is a cost with keeping up with a pet in your home.
So it's appropriate medical care, it's making sure we're all up on our vaccinations, it's making sure you're making the right food choices for your pet, playtime, your attention. A baby's a baby, and they love attention. And even if it's an older dog, they're kind of just big babies and want your attention. Jennifer, we're also, with the fall, our kiddos have gone back to school, so maybe somebody's not at home all the time. What are some ways that we can keep our dogs and our cats engaged when they're home by themselves? I'm always worried about my Lily when she's home alone.
Well, a lot of people will crate their animals when they're home, just making sure that they have, appropriate toys to keep them busy, and they're getting appropriate activity when you are home. So if they're getting playtime before you go to work, if they're getting their playtime and socialization time afterwards, they should be just fine.
Okay, so we want to make sure that they, have what they need. And again, that's part of that responsible pet ownership. We're also, inching our way to Halloween this month. Bear, you already look a little spooky. You look like a bat to me. Oh, there we go. Thank you. What do we need to be mindful of when our kiddos are out trick-or-treating and our pets are at home?
So of course we want to keep the sweet treats away. Chocolate can be toxic. especially, but we also just don't want them into the candy. So keep those out of reach. As well as there's going to be lots of people around. It can be stressful for our animals. So make sure that they're in a safe space, in their crate, in a quiet room, so they're not getting stressed by all the activity.
Don't want to get too stressed out. So keep it quiet, no chocolate, but there are plenty of awesome, fun treats for our pets that are safe for them, that are good for their diet, that they can find as well, right?
Oh, lots of fruits and vegetables, and then the internet has a wealth of information about healthy treats that you can make for your pets.
Wonderful. And before too long, Jennifer, we're going to be on the top of the holidays. And as wonderful as you are, you don't need to pop out of a box Christmas morning. So this is probably a good time to be thinking about how we might plan to bring a pet into our home during the holidays. What are some recommendations you can give us as we're going to start, introducing maybe a pet to our household?
So there are a lot of families who'd like to bring a pet into their home as a gift during the holidays. And while we don't discourage that, we want to make sure that it is an educated decision. So we don't want to make a snap judgment. We don't want to make a spur of the moment decision.
Right.
So again, you're making sure what's going to be appropriate for your home, for your family. What we do recommend at the shelter when people ask is that maybe you give a certificate to whom you're giving the gift, and let them choose the animal that they bring home so that it can be a good fit.
Wonderful. Now you all also have a wonderful program for folks who love pets, but maybe, have a different way in which they want to introduce them, and that's through your fostering program. And you mentioned to me off camera that Bear was a foster. Talk about that.
Bear was a foster, and it's a wonderful program, mainly for our smaller kittens and puppies who aren't quite ready to go up for adoption yet. And we have foster families who take them in. We provide all the supplies that they need, all the care medically, and they just take care of our animals for that brief time until they're big enough to get spayed and neutered, of course, and placed for adoption. So Bear was neutered yesterday, and he will be up for adoption.
You're doing great.
He will probably go pretty quickly, but we're very grateful to our foster families for providing that care for those animals.
Well, Bear, you are doing just beautifully. You're a born star. How about that? We've got you on camera. Jennifer, as always, we want to make sure that folks know how to reach you and know your hours at Onslow County Animal Services. You all always have such wonderful partners that you work with your adoption events. So tell us a little bit about how to learn more.
So we have a great Facebook page. We put a lot of information, a lot of cute pictures and things like that about events on the page. It's just Onslow County Animal Services, as well as our website, onslowcountync.gov/animal services. And you can always call 910-455-0182.
Wonderful. Well, Jennifer, as always, it's a great joy to talk with you. Thanks for bringing Bear to the park, because what a happy place for a puppy to be. And again, we look forward to talking with you soon, because I know that we'll have you back as we get closer to the holiday season. But thanks for all the great information that you shared with us today.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. And we want to just remind everyone to spay and neuter their pets if they're not a shelter pet, and make sure you're caught up on your rabies vaccination, which we provide at the shelter in our rabies clinic.
Oh, thank you, Bear. Absolutely. Thank you, Jennifer. As always, we want to thank you for joining us for Onslow County Today. Today has literally been a walk in the park as we were here at the Richland Steed Park. Of course, we want to thank all of our guests, Tammy Custy with Onslow County DSS, and the great information she provided about the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. We also want to be sure to remind you to join in the conversation about One Book, One Community with Sally Goodman and Virginia March from the Coastal Carolina Community College Library Services, and of course our own Onslow County Public Library. We had a great time talking with Emily Morrison, learning about what's growing in the garden with Onslow County Master Gardeners, and of course how to get our holiday wreaths. And finally, our visit with Jennifer Montefort and Bear from Onslow County Animal Services. Fall is in the air. We've seen it, we know it's coming, and it's a great time to get out and explore your Onslow County Today.